Okay, so the only question I got was on 10A, 10, and 10C, I believe. In part A, between what two consecutive integers must the solution to this equation lie? Explain your reasoning. We really don't know how to solve that yet, is what they're getting at. We've only learned how to solve exponential equations when we can write them as the same base on both sides. So I kind of tried and failed that here. I wrote 4 as 2 squared to the x power, and then normally I would try to rewrite 30 as 2 to the something power, but it doesn't really work. So the 2 to the 2 squared to the x becomes 2 to the 2x, but my 30 cannot be rewritten as 2 to a power. If it could, then I could just drop the 2's, set the exponents equal to each other, and solve. But the point this is trying to make is that you can't solve all exponential equations the way we initially learned how prior to Christmas. So this is just starting to get us thinking conceptually about it. There will be a legitimate way that will get us the exact answer, but this is just getting us to think about it ballpark. So the way to show this and explain it is just really just by guessing and checking. 4 to the first is just 4. 4 to the second is 16. That's too small. 4 to the third is 64. That's too big. We're trying to aim for 30, which would be somewhere in between 16 and 64. A little bit closer to 2, actually. So my guess is that x is somewhere between 2 and 3. That's not a guess, that's for sure. My guess is that it's probably a little bit closer to 2, maybe 2.3-ish, 2.4-ish. And that's really, we will find the exact answer tomorrow, but that's really what they're getting at by asking us that question. In part B, they're telling us to write log of 4 to the x power as an equivalent product using the third log law. That's just taking your exponent out in front. So bringing your x out in front times the log of 4, there's your product. So that's the multiplication that's happening. C is a little bit tricky. I know what they're getting at, but you not knowing how to do this, it's kind of a little bit of a stretch to ask you this question. Even for me, it was tough to figure out what they were getting at. But essentially, here's what we're going to learn tomorrow. If you want to solve an exponential equation, like 4 to the x equals 30, we actually use logs to get exponents out of the exponents, to get variables out of the exponent. So if two things are equal, you can take the log of both sides. So that's the log of 4 to the x power equals the log of 30. And because we have the log of something raised to a power, that allows us to bring that variable out. And that's what part B really did. It brought that x out in front. So then we would have on the left, x times the log of 4 equals the log of 30 on the right. And then if you divide both sides by the log of 4, there's your answer. X equals the log of 30 divided by the log of 4. And your calculator would give you that exact answer, which is the 2.45344. But definitely a stretch for this homework assignment because you wouldn't, I guess some geniuses might figure that out, but you know, that's really what's coming, and they're just setting us up for that conversation and to show you how to do that.